Time for some pumpkin beers, even if they're a bit shandy. Hey, it's Brainmuffin back with another beer review, and as part of the fall, what that means, it's the ladies have all their pumpkin spice everything and lattes and all those candles and all that stuff. For us beer lovers, it means pumpkin beers are back, baby. And today you're going to see several somethings you probably I won't say ever see again. It's a rarity. Number one, I have a Leinenkugels. Number two, I have a Shandy. Now this is their Harvest Patch Shandy, so it does say white beer, brewed with honey. Brewed with honey with natural flavors, as opposed to and. That's what was throwing me off. The two prepositions. That doesn't mean, 4.2%, so it's also pretty low. And here's the other thing you're going to rarely see me do. That's right, it's a twisty. Oh wow, that is like a pumpkin spice. It definitely has nutmeg in there, allspice, very clear for a wheat beer. Weiss beer, W-E-I-S-S, Weiss, that's German for white. Those are wheat beers, but they tend to be a little clearer. Nope, no residue on the bottom. So we got it all. By the sound alone, I'd say it's artificially carbonated, but that's just me. I mean, wow, that is like your stereotypical spicy, there's pumpkin in there, but it's definitely nutmeg. Nutmeg smacks you around and says you owe me money. So if you like nutmeggy beers, this might be the beer for you. There are hints of wheat in there, so there's some other flavors that are starting to come up. It's making my mouth water, actually. So, let's see. Wow. Now, I'm not a Shandy fan. I'm actually meant to say that before I had it of any kind. That's not bad. That is a well-balanced, it's like you took a pumpkin pie and squeezed it in the top of your mouth without the sweetness. It is really good pumpkin beer. I am beyond surprised. I'm not a big fan. I heard about Leinenkugels for years. We couldn't get them in Ohio for a long time, and we finally got them in Ohio, and I had one, and I was like, what is the fuss all about? This is not that good. It's one of America's oldest breweries, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if they are independently owned or not. Or if they're more of a brand than an actual brewery anymore. 6 generations of family brewing, pride of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So there you go. But that, for a pumpkin beer that wants to be kind of like you're drinking a pumpkin pie kind of feel, because it isn't as sweet as a pumpkin pie, this is probably the closest I've ever seen. The nutmeg, I think there's a hint of cinnamon, and a little bit of allspice, all combined. But it's very nutmeg, but it doesn't have the bitterness, which is very good. I've had some that had nutmeg, and the bitterness was really noticeable. And it has this nice pumpkin finish all the way down. It's very smooth. It's very mellow. Almost a little watery. It's so mellow. But the flavor really lingers, and it lingers well balanced continuously. It doesn't linger with just one flavor that overpowers everything. It's still there in a nice balanced fashion. This is actually, I am completely taken aback. I may have to stop thumbing my nose up at Shandy's and actually give some of them a try. I thought Shandy's were a mixture of things, like a Radler, which is like lemon juice or lemonade or some kind of flavored drink and a beer. I don't really like those either, but they're popular in Germany these days. Leinenkugels. So I'm guessing that the umlaut is supposed to be there, and that would definitely get it Leinenkugel. I'm giving this thing a 4.5, and I'm a stingy. Anything over 4, I get really stingy. This is very nice for a pumpkin beer. If people are kind of afraid of pumpkin beers, this might be a good introduction. I mean, it's not my favorite. I've got several others that I like better, but they have other characteristics. And I'll give you a hint about number 100. It's my favorite, at least so far, pumpkin beer I've ever had. I thought I would just kind of wrap it up into this season and everything else. So there you go. 4.5 from me for a Shandy. Most Shandies I would just dump out, but I guess based on this, I'm going to have to get some others and maybe be careful about which ones I get. But this is the guy at Jungle Gyms. I couldn't find any, and this guy just starts pulling them off the shelf like one after the other. And before I know it, I had like 6 of them. Spent like 20 bucks on pumpkin beers of various types, and I didn't even see this one. He's like, yeah, this one's very popular. And now I understand why. This is very, very good. For what it is. I mean, it's not spectacular. It's not an imperial pumpkin, with in bourbon barrels or something. But it is a good, solid 4.2%, well balanced. I mean, for the light malt bill this has, for it being wheat beer, it doesn't have an overdone yeastiness to it. It doesn't have some of the other things that make me wheat beers I don't like. But it definitely has a nice, well balanced. It has a nice color for a pumpkin beer. It's got a nice balance to it, even if it's a little heavy on the nutmeg in the aroma department, but it drinks very well balanced, very nice. I would have this with some kind of other seasonal flair, maybe some barbecue, maybe some chili, a good mild spiced chili. This time of year, people in this part of the country start to eat chili more often. I don't know why it gets cold, they eat chili, maybe because I don't know. But, because it makes them colder afterwards. But, basically good fall type things. I wouldn't have it with pumpkin pie. This is not a dessert beer, but it's definitely something you could have with a meal, say, maybe even turkey, stuff like that. I might get some when we go to Thanksgiving. I might get some more or something. Anyway, there you go, 4.5. Have you had the Harvest Patch Shandy by Leinenkugel? Do you like it, not like it? You think it's great? You think it's horrible? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for clicking over here on subscribe. That really helps me a lot. And thanks also for sharing. Get more and more people retweeting on Twitter and sharing on Facebook. That's great. Getting some more reviews out there. Thank you very much, and we will see you. Bye. How many minutes? 14. Oh, so this thing's getting filled up. Don't have any beer. Can't review something I ain't got. Y'all doggies just stay right there, right yonder. Don't get joy. Acting like I've got all kinds of time and I don't. Harvest Patch Shandy. Jakob Leinenkügel. Or is it Kogel? There's no umlaut. Is it Kugel? Keine Umlaut. Leinenkugel. That was horrible.